All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Alaracanfieldshow, the Awaken Happiness Now Global Series. Thank you so much for being here with us today. And I just want to remind everyone, of course, if you're new to YouTube or to my YouTube channel, if you're new to my shows, please do subscribe, hit the bell to get notified of when we have our live shows. Usually Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. Some weeks are different. Today it's Wednesday. I mean, this week it's Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. And we bring to the show wonderful speakers, guests, teachers, healers who are here to uplift humanity, raise the consciousness on the planet, raise our vibration, and they have wonderful resources, tools, processes that they share with us in all these calls, and always a wonderful conversation, yes, but the experiential processes are also great. And we love to share this wisdom with you because I know how sometimes it can be difficult and you sometimes can feel like you're stuck and struggling, but there is always a way out. And so that is my intention, my wish for you to have greater ease in your life, right? And to be empowered and inspired to create the life that you truly desire. So again, thank you so much for being here, and let's get started. And today, my dear friend and fellow colleague, I guess you could say, in the Telesummit world is here with us today. So Moncef Afkir is here, and we are going to be talking about moving forward in our ascension path while navigating the dualities of life. And some of what we're going to discuss today on the show include our ascension journey and the unknown, cultivating flexibility as things keep changing constantly, why honest self-awareness and inner contemplation can feel uncomfortable and how they can support our awakening. We're going to talk about navigating the times when we feel low, that does happen. And we're going to ask the question, does transcending duality mean not experiencing it? So, and Moncef is also going to guide us on a healing journey, along with beings of light to support in navigating our unique path. So all that and more. And for those of you who don't know Moncef, just in case, some of you may not, I'll just tell you a little bit about him. So he facilitates group healing sessions where he creates an energetic space along with benevolent beings of light and the attendees, holding the frequencies of authentic acceptance and love, and helping to alchemize and shift what needs to be transmuted and connect to deeper levels of true self. He is also the host of Your Divine Uniqueness show, and he started his career as an engineer, then followed his calling to shift his path to a service that resonates more with his heart's truth and where he can create and serve more freely. He left his job in 2013 to dedicate himself to his new path before becoming a way of service. Spirituality has been for him a way of self-discovery and awakening. So please join me in welcoming Moncef to our show, to our platform. It's the first time that he's here with us. I've been on his show and his platform before, but yeah, it's special for me that he's here with us today. So Moncef, I'm so glad you're here. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Alara. Very happy to be with you and with your beautiful audience. So yeah, really glad that I joined you now.
Yes, thank you. And so because it's the first time that you're on our show, Moncef, can you just share a little bit about your journey? We talked a little bit about it in the intro, but just from your own personal experience, what really made you shift your path, be on this journey and now become a healer in your own right?
Yeah, so as you mentioned in the beginning, spirituality was a way of self-discovery and awakening. And it was mainly when I was still working as an engineer. And during like several years, it was more about connecting to having more confidence because I had those issues of self-worth and self-judgment since my childhood, and that was a main theme in my journey. And then after the years, I felt there was a moment where I felt I need to make a choice because I was doubting whether I leave my job, I do something that I love, or stay in the job. And I was postponing it for a couple of years because it was mainly because I had more reaction about maybe my boss wasn't behaving well or things like that. But when the moment felt right, the decision felt very natural, very easy to take. And yeah, I didn't have any doubts to it was a jump for me, actually. So so it depends. I don't always recommend that. It depends on one's journey. So it can be different from one person to the other. But for me, I needed that experience and what I learned through the year and a half after that, because it was a lot of shifting of beliefs and the way of living and being, where I was like, I knew everything that I will receive. It was all arranged, but then shifting to more living in the unknown and just flowing. And yeah, after a year and a half, I started my show, Your Divine Uniqueness. I think now it's been 8 years that I've been hosting it. And a couple years ago, 2021, I was traveling around Turkey, and during a few days, I was in the mountains in the north, and there I started feeling connection to the Pleiadians, mainly. And in the beginning, it was more just an interest and curiosity. But then with support, so it was Erika Van Eaton who supports me during the first steps. And after that, it's been now a year. Yeah, about a year that I've been offering the group sessions that you mentioned, along with the Pleiadians and sometimes other beings that come through. And what happens during this journey is I hold a space for the group, and in general, there are some themes that comes intuitively in general, and I speak about those, and then I hold the space, and along with the beings who are present with the group, to help like shift anything that is related to that theme, and also to help connect more deeply to the audience through self. And yeah, and also I'm born and raised in Morocco, and I'm calling now from here. And yeah,
Awesome.
That's my journey.
Awesome. And it's it's a journey unique to you, but it's not really unique, because we're all on a journey, and all of our journeys are slightly the same, right? Because I also made a big major jump, right, in 2013, and I also the same thing. I don't tell my clients to take a jump. I tell them take baby steps, but I jump. That's just how I am, right? But I don't recommend that either, right? But the thing is, we follow our heart, we follow our guidance, we follow our knowing, and a lot of the times it is about the unknown, right? And so our ascension journey is, and being in the unknown, it takes a lot of trust, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So go ahead. Let's talk about that. Our own ascension journey, and it's all, I feel, sometimes unknown.
Yeah, we realized that at some points that's the new way of being. Like in the beginning of our path, we think it's just the first steps, but then things will become more clear. But it's more about shifting, like the way we feel safe. It's finding safety in the unknown. It's making it the normal for us. And in general, when we step in that state of being, how to say, that the quality of life becomes much better, because it's more like our relationship with the universe changes. It's like for each experience, we are open to new things that we don't expect to happen for us. And it's like asking the universe each time, surprise me. What's better can I experience or receive? So it's but it can be challenging at sometimes, especially when a situation lasts for a long time, and then we don't know when things will shift. Then we start having doubts. And yeah, so this is when things can be sometimes very challenging. And here it's, if we can find support from someone that we trust, or if we can hold a space for ourselves. And what I mean by that is, as much as we can, try to connect with our inner self, our inner child, have a conversation, and also making him or her feel safe with us first, before trying to feel safe with other people, because many times it's us who judge ourselves, and this is why we can't sometimes we find it difficult to look deep within ourselves, because we are afraid to find things that we feel responsible of, that we feel ashamed of. Actually, it's more about holding safe space, that it's okay, that we are all in that together, and every one of us experience that in some way. And it's more about listening to our inner child's worries and needs without judgment.
Absolutely. And that's the thing, is say, whatever is going on your journey within yourself, being willing to look at it, being willing to observe it and hold space without judgment. And that's the hardest thing for a lot of people. I know I used to judge myself a lot. I'm much better now, but I used to judge myself a lot. And my family is very judgmental, so it comes naturally to me. But that takes practice, right? It takes practice. And so part of the practice is also about, being flexible with yourself, cultivating that flexibility as things are always changing. And I always, like for me, it's always about go with the flow the best you can, because things are never going to be the same. My favorite mantra is this too shall change, right? So everything is always changing. And how do you stay, in that flow, and how do you stay flexible when sometimes, you're like, this is how I want it to be. I'm a recovering control freak. So, sometimes I want to control things, right? And so being flexible is okay for me. Like I adapt very quickly, but my natural way of being is trying to control, right? Control what's going to happen, control my surroundings, control everything, right? But cultivating that flexibility, how do you do that?
It's like you said, it's a practice. It comes with time and with experience. And it's, how to say, it's the more we take also risks, it doesn't mean like big risks, can be just very small. So this is how we learn, because we see results that we see how some experiences turn out to be serving us when we were worrying in before that. So it's more allowing ourselves to make maybe mistakes, what we may call mistakes, and take more risks and have more experiences. And because also sometimes that we are afraid that we will be missing out, and it becomes difficult to take a decision. And it's like we want to make it right. It's like there is one path and it's the right one, and we don't want to miss anything. But what happens is we become stuck and we don't move forward at some point. So it's more about allowing things to maybe to not go the way we want them. And with time, the flexibility will become more and more natural. So it's not about forcing it, because we may force it in the beginning, but at some point we will feel tired of doing that.
Yeah,
so it's
absolutely. Absolutely. I totally agree. And, it's, yeah, there was something I was going to say, but it's gone. It came and it went. So it's like, okay. So for me, being self-aware, like knowing how I think, how I feel, what I feel, I do a lot of inner work. I do a lot of inner contemplation, right? Because I'm not afraid to see the ugly part of myself, because I'm okay with it. I call it I'm quirky. I have some quirks, so there's some strange things about myself, which I appreciate as I'm going along the journey. But having that honest self-awareness with yourself in contemplation is uncomfortable, can be uncomfortable if you're truly not willing to have compassion for yourself, right? So how can having that honest self-awareness and that inner contemplation, how can that support our awakening?
First, I agree with what you said, and sometimes, like you said, it can be uncomfortable because, as you say, because those limiting beliefs, what happens when we try to be very honest with ourselves and connect deeply to our inner self, what happens is those limiting beliefs, they try to defend themselves to survive, because it's like they fear at risk, maybe, because many times the intention that we have to create a shift or to change is to remove the ego part of ourselves. So we create some kind of fear within ourselves when we try to be honest and to see the truth, to see all aspects of ourselves. But how it will support us is that first it strengthens our, how to say, intuition, or how we can discern what is true guidance and what is not. Because the more we are present for ourselves, the more we become more and more aware of what is happening within, without judgment, of course. We build a new, how to say, maybe we can call it a skill or a new habit, that's, instead of reacting right away to things that can trigger us, we take time, we slow down, we try to see what's happening behind the scene. And this, with time, help us, like, even when we, for example, we hear some messages from the media, we take our time to really know if it's something true, or if it's something that's the purpose is to create fear. So we don't react right away. And by doing that, also, it's, how to say, because that's energy, it's emanate toward others as well, because they feel us like more grounded. They see the decisions that we take, and at some point they will want the same. They will try to, maybe they will ask us, we need to talk to them to explain. Sometimes we don't need to say anything, it's more just energetic, and things shift energetically. And so this is not just serving us, but also serving the collective and people around us, and then the collective's energy.
Absolutely. And everything that we do, any inner work that we do, any work in a group that we do, is also always affecting the collective, right?
Right.
So, and it's not just the work, but it's also, our frequency, our vibration, what our thoughts are, everything. It doesn't just affect us, affects the whole community and the whole collective. So it's important to always be aware of that, especially those times when we are feeling low and when we get stuck in that dense, heavy energies for a while. I mean, everyone's going to feel low at some time, from time to time. Totally normal. Nothing wrong with that. You have to experience all frequencies, all vibrations, etc. That's normal. But if you stay stuck in a low state for a long period of time, and you'll know what that is for you, but how do you, Moncef, navigate those times when you're feeling low? I know for me, I'll be really quick. When I'm feeling low, I take action. So I'm always, if you suddenly see a new healing call or new project coming in, well, that's because at some point I was low, or you'll see total silence. So a lot of times when I am feeling low, I'm very quiet. I do not post on Facebook or anywhere, unless I have to for the show and stuff, but otherwise nothing is happening, right? And so that's a way of me processing, but we all have our ways that we process those low times. So yeah. So how do you do that?
Yeah. So for me also, it depends on the situation, but in general, it's how to say, it should be okay that it may take some time. It can be very uncomfortable in the beginning, but for me, what happened with experience, it's because I was being triggered very, very easily and very quickly. But with time, even with some issues that I had, I could sometimes maybe stay more grounded, or having more patience. That's this issue will need time to be solved. But also we don't always need to do that on our own. If sometimes we can't, because sometimes we can't handle the density that we are experiencing. it's okay to ask for help, someone that we trust, so they can hold the space for us, or if they can give us more clarity, that can be very helpful also. And also, like we talked earlier in the call, when we practice more to hold the space for ourselves without judgment, allow ourselves to go to those places that we feel afraid, where we feel afraid or shameful, that help us in those situations as well. And there is another case is sometimes feeling low. It's what I notice also in my experience, it's more like a habit. It's not really, how to say, because it's creating a shift or change sometimes feel difficult or hard to do, and staying in maybe victimhood or staying in that low energy feels more safe and more easier. So it feels like there is no effort that we need to do there. And what happens unconsciously is just we keep that situation for us without us knowing that. But when we have this honesty, we build that honesty within ourselves, we can notice that, we can see that this is just something that we were used to. It's not really. And when we see that, like, our feeling will change right away. We feel much more relieved.
Absolutely. And sometimes, those low times are really great for that introspection, really looking at, okay, how am I being triggered? What am I really feeling? What is really going on here? And what is another perspective that I can have? How else can I see this situation or this time, right? So, I like to look at all experiences, low and high, as gifts for me to find out more about myself. Right. And so those low times can give you a lot of wisdom. I've had a lot of low times. And yes, sometimes they were like required for me to take the next step into my breakthrough, into the next step of my evolution, next step of my consciousness. Those were required. Right. So I'm okay with them. I just don't like to stay in them too long, right? Because then like you said, it becomes a habit. It becomes comfortable, and it's like, it's safer to be there than to do something different sometimes, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but yes, absolutely. Ask for support. I ask for support sometimes. I'm not very good at asking for support. But I recommend everybody ask for support. And I tell all my clients, if you need support, I'm here. But I ask for support when it's really bad. It's one of those things. When it's really bad, yes, I have my go-to people. I will ask for support. But in between, like, yeah, I can handle it. I'll talk to my guides. I'll talk to God. I've got this. But when it gets to an extreme, then I ask for support here at the physical level as well. And that's important. And that has been a learning for me, to ask for the support and to recognize the support that I do have, right? Because there was a time when I didn't recognize the support I was having. I was like, I have all the support from the higher realms, but there's no support here. That was not true. But the people at that time couldn't support me the way that I needed, but they were still supporting me in some way, right? Yeah. So support is really important. One of the things I've recently learned about that is, which I'm still kind of tapping into a little bit, but when you're going through a difficult time, if you can write down your feelings, but and getting it out of your energy field, right? And that's kind of like support when you're talking to a friend or a counselor or a therapist or a healer. You're getting it out of your energy field. You're like dumping it on somebody. So it's so that you can have more clear energy, right? And so writing it down, a couple of days, couple of weeks, can also help you to feel calmer and release that energy that's stuck within you. And for me, going outside, going for a walk with the boys, playing with the boys is so beneficial. That changes your vibration energy and gets me out of that low state really quick, right? So you have to figure out what that is for you. And also recognizing when you are in that low state, right? Sometimes people don't recognize that they're in a low state because it's something that they're used to, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And just I want to talk about what you mentioned about writing down things, because sometimes getting clarity can really create very big shifts, and sometimes we may feel it right away, because sometimes the fears that we have is just because of lack of clarity. And also many times we postpone things that we want to do just because of lack of clarity. And when we take time to do that, to either on our own, if we are able to do that, or by receiving support from someone else, it really can create a huge shift. And yeah, and
I just want to say one more piece
yeah,
around that too. It's like sometimes those thoughts, those feelings are not even yours. Remember, we are really sensitive, right? We're all empaths, so and we're really sensitive and we're really aware, and so we pick up on a lot of what's happening in the world, with the planet, with our communities, etc. Right? So before you start judging yourself for, oh, I'm in this low place, why am I thinking this again? Why am I feeling like this again? Is it yours? It may not be. Right. And so many times we've taken stuff on thinking it's ours and trying to solve it and process it and whatever, and nothing is changing because it wasn't yours to begin with. Right. So it's like we have to get really understand that, most of the stuff that we feel and we think, those 75,000 thoughts a day, are not even ours. Okay. So give yourself a break and say,
right.
You know what? I'm not claiming this. I'm not taking this on, unless you really want to, right?
Yeah.
I just wanted to share that really quickly. Go ahead.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. And I just want to add that also, if we find sometimes picking up things from others and taking them as our own, it's okay if we fall into that. It's more like having more experiences that we are learning to discern between what's ours and what is not. And more importantly, it's how we can hold safe space for ourselves when we find ourselves in those low experiences.
Yeah. Holding space for yourself, loving yourself, having compassion for yourself, accepting yourself as you are and the circumstance. That's the only way things can change, truly. All right. So now we're talking a lot, and there's still so much to talk about, but let's talk about transcending duality. In this reality that we live in, it is a dual reality, right? It's filled with duality. But transcending duality does not mean not experiencing it. I mean, we have to still experience life. We still have to experience a duality while we are here on this planet, in this 3D reality, in this physical form. Even if you're in 5D, I think you're still going to experience duality in some areas.
Yeah. I mean, it's like duality is it's more about the cycles of life. This is how the human experience works, and there are ups and downs, positive and negative, good and bad, etc. And we experienced that, and this exists in the outer world and also within ourselves. But what I found from my own experience, like I did it myself and also in others, is that sometimes to transcend duality, we try to go toward one side of it, either to positive or negative. We go to the positive because negative feels uncomfortable. And also sometimes I find, I was doing that at some points in the past, I also find people like, how to say, maybe we can say being stuck in the pain part, like, because this is, it's part of the experience, and this is where we really shift and we grow. But at some point we give it so much importance that we start choosing it instead of being in the flow. And I saw that in some teachings. But for me, how I see it, it's allowing ourselves to have both, but also without seeking the negative, and not being too attached to the positive. It's like being the one beyond the physical experience, like we are watching it and observing what is happening within us. we can be like, we allow ourselves to experience it, to be in it, to feel that, but at the same time, like try to practice seeing the bigger picture, and try to see what is happening within us and within our experience.
Absolutely. And so it is truly about, as life flows through us, we are observing it, flowing with it, instead of judging it, right, as good or bad, right or wrong, etc. We're like, okay, and like, so we're like, okay, this is what life is showing me right now. Okay, right. So it's like, okay, cool. And just being aware of it, right? And not saying, well, this is good and this is bad and this is ugly and this is, it's like, I don't like this, because as soon as you go into any of those ways of being, you're getting yourself stuck and not able to flow, and then not able to really see the truth of what is going on. You're just getting fixated on an idea. But we all do it, right? So it doesn't mean, like, and in 24 hours, like you're like constantly being aware. You can't, right? Because you're living life as well, right? So, but the best you can, trying to be aware of what is life showing me? What am I experiencing here? What is going on? From that bigger picture. It is always from that higher perspective and bigger picture of what is life showing me? What is life teaching me? What is the wisdom here? Right? Yeah,
absolutely. And also it's not about taking it as a goal, that there is an end for it, because it's a lifelong growing and learning. And each time we get better at that. So it's more, like I said, it's more about a cycle. When things are slow, this is where we integrate and where we heal and where things shift, in general, more on an energetic level. And when things feels more, how to say, feel more excited, more joyful and things like that, this is where we create, like the creation becomes more accelerated, and we can move faster in what we create in general. And we need both. Because also sometimes when we stay only on the positive, we don't allow ourselves to integrate the new energies that we constantly receive.
Absolutely. And so, I love what you just said there about, when we're in that positive, joyful experience, we like it and it's fun and we're creating. It's it feels great, right? But even when we're having those lower aspects of life, there's so much wisdom there. So there's so much gold there for us to perceive and receive and know the truth about, and so that's why it's like, it's always about looking at all of life as an experience and teaching us about ourselves and teaching us about humanity, teaching us about how to be kind to others and compassionate to others, etc. So every experience, whether it's good or bad, can teach you something about life, and you can grow from both experiences. You don't have to only grow from the heavy experiences, right? You can grow from the fun, light experiences as well. I would rather do that, to be honest. I think I've had my fill now of the heavier, lower experiences. I think I'm done. So, I'm willing to learn and experience from the good, from the joyful.
Yeah, exactly. And also, like I said, it's not, for example, like the challenging experience, it's not about choosing them because they will help us. It doesn't mean that we need to choose them. I mean, if they happen, then they take advantage of that experience. But if not, we don't choose that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
All right. So I know that Linda had a question earlier. Linda, do you still have a question? I forgot to say that at the beginning. If you have a question for Moncef, about what we're discussing.
I was just going to ask about the Pleiadians, but if we can't talk about that, I would stop.
What's the question though? What about the Pleiadians?
About the CMEs that are coming in right now and all the solar flashes and stuff. What do they see us progressing with the planet and our ascension?
Right. So just the way I work with the Pleiadians, it's not I channel information through them. This is more of, like when I do the healing processes, the journeys. So it's more like an energetic support to the group, but I don't channel them. I don't bring messages about any events.
Okay. Thank you.
But Linda, what do you think?
I believe that if we are more and more full of light for ourselves, and then we can project that light outwards, we can help this whole planet to ascend. And that's what I was thinking.
Absolutely. And I'm going to just correct a little bit there. It's not about if we project, we are always projecting.
Yeah.
We're always radiating our light, right? So the more that you can fill up and with light, the more you're automatically radiating.
Yes.
Right. So that is one way that we are receiving more light on the planet as humanity, as a collective. But there are many other ways as well. Right. But that's one way for sure. And that light that's coming in is here to support us in our ascension, our growth. And it's also about, for me, it's always about how we can be more aware of who we are, who and what we are. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Yes. And we are light.
We are.
Right. So the more that we can recognize that we are light and knowing that that is what is radiating out at all times, we don't have to do anything. You just be it.
Yeah.
Right.
I just wondered if there was more insight into like a practice or something that they would share for us to get to a higher vibrational frequency so that we can project greater light. That's all I was asking. So thank you.
Ask for it, right? So it's a great question, Linda, and it's for everybody. Ask to receive more light, to hold more light as it's coming into the planet so that you can radiate it out. I don't like the word project. So that's why I keep saying radiate it out, right? So I don't like project. Right. So just ask for it and then be willing to receive it. The light is going to reach you wherever you are, whether you're inside or outside, doesn't matter, right? So the light's going to reach you wherever you are if you're willing to receive it. Yeah. So take a few minutes every day and say, I'm receiving more light. I'm filling my body and being with more light.
Okay. Thank you.
It doesn't have to be more complicated than that.
No, I know.
Right. And if you want to ask the Pleiadians to help you to hold more light, ask for that. Right.
Yep.
And know that you are receiving as soon as you ask.
Yes. That's the hard part, the trusting part.
Fake it till you make it.
Fake it till you make it. Yeah. Okay.
Just tell yourself, yes, I am receiving. Thank you, Linda.
I love you as well.
Thank you, Linda. Love you too.
Can I comment on this? Yeah. Also advice, because receiving more accelerated energies, it's something that is continuously happening. We've been experiencing that, and it will happen in the future. But when we are mainly focusing on our path, each time, trying to connect more and more to our true self, holding the space for ourselves. When there are some energies coming, we will receive what we need. And many times what may happen is that because we hear so many talking about some energies that are coming specifically on a date, and we feel like this energy, it's like we see it as a savior, and we stop what we've been practicing and building along the way. So it's more just connecting to our true self, bringing that more and more, and what we will need, we will experience it and we will receive it when it happens.
Absolutely. And today is the 222 portal, whatever that means.
Yeah.
So again, be willing to receive, whatever energies you require for yourself, for your ascension, for your growth, for your self-realization. What do you require? Ask to receive that and anchor that into your being. Okay. Yeah. So yes, on the days of portal days, there's more energy flowing in, right? And if you are aware of it, if you can recognize it and you can ask for it, you can receive more. And always ask to anchor it in, to embody the light, embody the energies and the good energies, whatever is for your highest good, right? Embody, so that, then it's not going to just stay up here, but it's going to fill up your entire body and being. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And sometimes we can feel the shifts. Sometimes we may not feel it. And yeah, also sometimes grace happens and we can something will just change right away.
Yes.
So it's more just being open to whatever we need to receive. Yeah.
Yeah. Without, trying to control it in any way. Just
right. Exactly.
always be willing to receive the highest and best for you. Yeah, good question. Thank you, Linda. 222 must be very, very good. I feel it. Good. Yeah, absolutely. And you know what? Everything is very, very good. Just receive all the good, receive everything that you require, everything that you need, everything that you desire. Be willing to receive it, because it is all there all the time. You know, people say that, oh, there's, you know, a portal of energy has just opened up. Yes, okay. But really, if you're truly willing to receive, everything is available to you at all times. You're that powerful. You're that, you know, you're a being of light. So why would it not be available to you at all times? All right. Anyways, I could go off on a tangent there for a while. All right, Moncef, anything else you want to discuss? Anything else? Did we miss anything? What, you know, what else is coming up for you that you would like to talk about?
Or maybe I can do the group, the journey now. Yeah.
Okay, or let's talk about the packages and then we'll do the journey. How's that?
Okay. Yeah, let's do that. Okay,
perfect. So I'm going to just share my screen and we're going to talk about the packages that Moncef has for all of you, all of us. Give me 1 second. I'm going to share my screen here. 1 second again. Okay. 1 second. Here we go. All right. So Moncef has 2 packages that are available for you. There are package A and package B. Package A is 3 45-minute guided group sessions, and package B is 5 45-minute guided group sessions. So Moncef, do you want to talk about these?
Yeah, absolutely. So like you mentioned, it's either 3 or 5. And what I do in these group sessions, you will experience it in little bit after that when I guide you in the process. And what happens is that I call in the guys, like the group's spirit guides, higher selves, and also the beings of lights, mainly in general the Pleiadians. Always they join, sometimes others as well, maybe Arcturians, but not sure exactly. Each time can be different. But what happens is that I speak about different themes, like each one on their own. For example, I speak about a theme that comes, and then after that I stay quiet for a few minutes, and there like you don't need to do anything. It's more about you just being in that space. You can maybe you can contemplate the theme that I talked about, how it can be reflected in your life. But mainly it's me holding the space energetically, so you can feel more safe and grounded, and also with the support of the beings with us. They help each one to shift anything that can be related to that subject or anything that you need in your own journey. And the experience like can be different from one person to the other, and because everyone had their own needs, even though sometimes the theme can be the group can all relate to the theme I talk about. And then I speak about the second one, and it goes like that during about 45 minutes. And also you may ask questions if you wish about what I talked about. And you may just receive in general, how to say, from my experience, those who joined me before, they felt very relaxed. And also I received quite like feedback that I didn't expect, but it was like saying that how it was very helpful to them, the healing process that they received, and also any messages that came through for the groups. And yeah, so there will be, like Alara said, the first package is three live group session, and the second one is 5. They will start on March 4. And they will be on Saturday, one on each Saturday. And if you can't join live, you will receive the recording from me, both audio and video. If because I do on Zoom, it's video, but if audio feels more practical, so I provide that as well. And yeah, so I hope you join us, and yeah. looking forward to connecting with you.
Awesome, thank you. And so package A is $88 and package B is $111, and there are payment plans available for both as well. If you are an Inner Circle member, whether you're free or VIP, don't forget to use your 10% or 25% discount code. And for this month only, the ATH Gen 10 code is still valid, but only until the end of the month. After that, you have to be part of the free or VIP Inner Circle, okay? So please do use the code for that. And yeah, perfect, thank you. And then, again, these, they are going to be recorded. You will receive the recordings. When you purchase the packages, you will be, there's a form that you have to fill out, basically just your name and email address, and then Moncef will share the Zoom info with you, and he'll send you a reminder, and then he'll send you the recordings as well, okay?
Yeah, you will receive first automatic email with the Zoom info, and then one day before the live session, I will email you with again with the Zoom information.
Yeah, perfect, thank you. And okay, so now we are going to do the process, a healing journey with the beings of light. And what is the theme going to be?
So it will be about supporting our unique path, but it will come as I start in general.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Perfect. All right. So that sounds good. All right. We can start. Go ahead.
Okay. So yeah, everyone. In the beginning, I invite you to take 3 deep breaths. Inhale deeply through your nose, then exhale through your mouth. And I will stay silent to allow you to do the breathing at your own pace. And now I'm calling in our higher selves, our spirit guides. And also I feel the Pleiadians' presence very strongly. Also the Arcturians. And here in this journey, you don't need to do anything. You just need to be in that space. Also, it's okay if at some point you find yourself not in the presence, maybe not listening to me, or it's okay. You just take a deep breath and come back to the present moment, and like the energetic support, you will receive it in any case. So take a deep breath. And in general, like especially when we start consciously walking our unique path, in the beginning we may feel very excited. We feel that we will have more freedom, more exciting things that we love will manifest in our life. We have that excitement in the beginning, but then as we start walking that path, like different things comes to the surface, especially those limiting beliefs, old thoughts that we had, and also aspects of ourselves that we were not accepting or hiding. They come to the surface because we need to, how to say, not remove that, but lovingly, with love, and also having this feeling safe to feel those within our body. Sometimes it depends on the person, and also because it's necessary for us to bring more of our light to to make peace with those aspects of us that we feel shameful of, or that we try to avoid because we feel that's maybe this is not spiritual, this is not good of ourselves. But when we remind ourselves that as humans, and we all of us without exception, even those that we look up for them, that we have lots of respects, they also have this duality. They have aspects of themselves that maybe for us in our stage we judge as negative. And take a deep breath. And also, as humans, we need connection with others. We need to feel loved, and we need to feel heard and understood by others. But also at the same time, we don't need to get too much attached to that, because what happens is that others also, there are some, at some point in time, they have their own issues. So they can't hold the space for us. They can't always give us love. And in those situations is, this is where the way we connect to ourselves helps. If we've been practicing holding the space for us to feel safe with ourselves, to feel okay to see everything about ourselves without exception. And it can be very, very difficult at some stage of our life. But it's okay to maybe keep trying. It's like, because if in the past we were not used to that, it feels like creating a new habit. And in the beginning, it feels like we need to put a lot of energy to get used to that. It's like turning a wheel, like the first effort of force, it's stronger in the beginning, but at some points it just flows and becomes effortless. And this is the same with how we connect to ourselves and how we hold the space for ourselves during those challenging times. And take a deep breath. And it can be very helpful to have a conversation with your inner child in those moments, and be present for them, like asking, why are you afraid? Why do you feel ashamed of that? And making it feel safe that it's just you here for inner child, that it's okay to just to be open and to say things as they are, express their needs, and if they are worried about anything, take a deep breath. And also in those moments, it can be helpful to remind ourselves that we are doing the best we can, even though during those situations where we feel very, very judgmental toward ourselves. Because it's a journey. We are not asked to shift that right away. We are not asked to always be in the positive side of the cycle of life, which is the dualities. No one is asked to do that. Take a deep breath. And when you practice that, and also maybe it can be helpful to let go of any expectations when we start feeling more comfortable with yourselves, because it depends on each person, and it depends on the experiences that we need to go through. But more, it's about being more flexible with time, and at some point in our life, we start feeling the shift, and it comes naturally. It doesn't feel like something that we forced, or that's something that we control. It's just there. And when things start coming naturally to us, and we are in that vibration, it's, how to say, it's other people start feeling safe when they are with us. And it's like energetically what happens, and sometimes we may not be aware of that. It's energetically we create a safe space, because this is the space where we are constantly creating that safety for us. And others start feeling that when they are around us, or when we connect with them. And they start to want that as well. And here also, it's not about, sometimes helping others, it can be maybe sharing words, holding the space for them, taking some action. But also other times, it's just being ourselves. We don't need to do anything. Sometimes we don't need to say anything to others. We need to allow them to go through their own experiences. Being with us activated something within themselves, and they have now that desire to create the same for themselves. But there are some people, they need to go through a path, through some specific experiences, so themselves they will reach that state of being at some point in their life. And here it's also allowing everyone to walk their own path, without trying to force or intervene, without permission. Take a deep breath. And yeah, so I will stay silent for a couple minutes. And again, you don't need to do anything, just be in that space and receive. And you may feel it energetically, sometimes you may not feel it, but it's, if you can, maybe just let go of any expectation, and just try to relax and follow your breath. And also the beings with us here will be working with you individually, depending on where you are and what you need. And also for that, you don't need to do any action. So take a deep breath. Take a deep breath. And also when walking our unique path, sometimes we may feel called to do things differently, walking a different path, making choices that may trigger others. And first, it's okay that in the beginning we feel like we have this desire to please others, or because we are afraid of hurting them, especially those close to us. And also it's okay to take time to practice, to speak our truth, to make our own choices. It's again, it's not about forcing, it's going with our own pace. And at some point we feel that because this is our path, and staying silent or choosing a path that is not ours actually is not serving others. It's just, even though we feel we don't want to hurt them, but when we don't walk our unique path, we help them to stay, how to say, in their safety zone. So we are not also helping them to choose for themselves, to choose what will serve them. So take a deep breath. So it's okay to feel different. And if you feel alone at some point, maybe seek communities, or either someone you can meet personally or on internet. Like having that connection can really feel very helpful during those times. And also remember, you don't need to do it all alone. It's all about creation, and life. It's just about relationships. So we are not meant to do everything alone. It's okay to reach for others. Take a deep breath. And yeah, so thank you so much for taking this journey with me and everyone participating. And now I ask that everyone comes back to their own energetic field. So, and also I thank our spirit guides, higher selves, and Pleiadians, Arcturians who supported us during this journey. And yeah, take a deep breath. And if you were closing your eyes, you can open them now. Thank you.
Wow, wonderful. Thank you. I think I heard most of it, but I think at one point, my I don't know, I was like so deep. Yeah, exactly. Linda said that was very peaceful. Absolutely. What are you all experiencing? How was that for you? I found it very peaceful as well and relaxing. Like I said, I went deep. I heard Moncef talking in the background, but sometimes like I'm not sure what he said. I was just like so deep, just receiving, right? So I'm still in that space. I'm still in that state. So I'm not quite back 100%, but enough to function. I can always function. Anybody, Dada says very relaxing. I was floating in great energy. Thank you. Oh, good. Galaxy J3, thank you, Moncef. I'm feeling calm and tranquil. Blessings and love to you both. Sarah says, well of joy. Oh, how nice. Well of joy. I love that. Good. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah. Thank you, Linda, Dada, Galaxy, and Sarah.
So one of the things I wanted to talk about really quickly as well, Moncef, is the free gift that you shared with us, in case people are not aware of it. So let's talk a little bit about that, and then let's see. So the free gift, for those of you who are already part of my community, you see the free gift link in every email. For those of you who are not part of my community, sign up and you will receive over 28 free gifts from the speakers. Why Galaxy and not Arietta? Because it says Galaxy J3, it doesn't say Arietta. So we don't know. All right, so Moncef, you shared a free gift with us. It's like 3 recordings. So can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, it's the recording of a 3-part series I did in August. Yeah, August or September 2022. So it's recent, and it was like that, like 3 group sessions. I think it was about 40 minutes each. And yeah, the themes, like they were different themes in each, but all related to how we can connect more to our true self and navigate these times when we become more aware of the dualities of life, and especially when within ourselves and also the events worldwide. So it can be very, very helpful to support us in our journey.
Beautiful, thank you. And so that please do access the free gifts page and download the recordings, the 3-part recordings from Moncef. So now, Moncef, any last words of wisdom for our wonderful listeners? Oh, Nalini, thank you so much. Feeling relaxed, peaceful, lighter. Thank you. Good, awesome. Any last words of wisdom?
Nalini. Yeah. Last message is how to say. Okay, that's there are some shifts that take time. So it's okay if things can go slow. Because also on energetic levels, many times we don't see that, we don't feel that, but huge shift is happening on the background, and it's like there is a huge team behind that is supporting us. How to say, it's like I said in the journey, that we are not asked to do it all alone. It's a co-creation, and there are many beings that are supporting us in our journey, and we don't need to worry about that part. So it's more about learning to trust. And again, this is a practice, it's a journey, to be okay with that. And also there are some experiences, some shifts that happen very fast and quickly. So we have both. So it's when things change quickly, yeah, it's great, we get very excited. And when our things are slow, it's more about learning to hold the space for ourselves, holding more love, more acceptance, and also having more patience at sometimes. So that's the message.
Having more patience on the journey. I'm not very good at patience at all. I think I'm getting better, but I'm not too sure. But also at the same time, I just wanted to remind or just give you this awareness, right? So Moncef, when we are receiving healing, when you're holding space, when we're receiving support from beings of light, when we're receiving extra energies through different portals, etc., what that does, right? More light, right? Means more light is then shining on some of the stuff that we didn't want to see before. Right. So when you're receiving more light, when you're receiving more healing, when you're receiving more awareness, shifts happen, change happens. And sometimes that change is not what we expect, right? So just be with it, knowing that you are supported throughout the change, through the through whatever's going on, like Moncef said, but also at the same time, be grateful that you can that you are experiencing the shift, that you are, doing the work, being present, holding space for yourself. That's the biggest thing, holding space for yourself, like Moncef was talking about. And the more that you can do that, the more that you can truly have, everybody talks about in this industry, self-love, right? hold space for yourself, you will start to know who you truly are and have compassion for you and acceptance for you and love for you, and start to nurture you and what you require and what you need, right, in this journey. It's not always easy. It's not always straightforward. It's not always clear. But the more that you can do that, the more clarity you will have, right?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Brenda says, thank you, Moncef. Your voice is so gentle and sincere. This was so fulfilling and relaxing. So grateful.
Thank you very much, Brenda.
I was thinking this, Brenda. I was thinking, oh my God, Moncef is so calm. He's not like me at all. Our energies are like totally different, but it's all good.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I was thinking that too. Helena, I think. Thank
Helena,
you, and
yeah.
merci beaucoup, and shukran.
Yeah, I know her.
Okay,
she's also we are connected, like we connect frequently, and also she's on my show. So thank you,
nice.
Elena, very much.
Nice, thank you, Elena. All right, any other, let me see, I think we talked about the packages, so please do check out the packages again, package A and package B, 3 group calls like this, like we did, except more, so we just did a short version of the journey, or 5, so that you can experience more of this peace, more of this presence, more of this being held, holding space for you with the beings of light, with your higher selves, with your guides who are here with you. Okay, so definitely check those out and access the free gift from Moncef as well. And I will be like when this comes out, please do watch again, listen again, so that you can receive more of the wisdom that Moncef and I shared, because I know I did talk a bit as well. So please do go back and watch and listen and receive all the wisdom, and as well the journey again. Please do experience that again, because that was quite peaceful and definitely so much presence there. Okay. And wow, Moncef, this was so wonderful having you here on our show. It was like, oh my God, this was, yeah, I just loved it. So thank you for being a guest on my show, and come back anytime, because this is beautiful.
Thank you so much, Alara. Yeah, I'm so happy that I could join you today, and also thank you for your audience, review for audience. So because like we were sharing, but also their energy, their presence, it's also contribution. It's more about collective here, co-creation. So
absolutely,
thank you all for co-creation with us.
Yes, thank you everybody for your questions, your comments, your feedback. Thank you for being present here with us on the call. And yeah, this was lovely. So thank you so much, everyone. All right, thank you, Linda. All right, everyone. So until next time, may you continue to be blessed with an abundance of joy, peace, love, happiness, prosperity, and radiant health. Sending you all much love and blessings always. Bye for now.
Bye.